Alright, I was hoping I could see my bike on this side because I've left it unlocked. Obviously when they built castles they didn't really think about having a little peephole to look at your bike. Hi, so you join me on the Granite Way today in Oakhampton. This is maybe, officially it's an 18-kilometre cycle trail to Lydford from the Oakhampton side, which is where I started today. And what we're going to do is head towards Lydford and in particular have a look at the castle and the church, and then I'll head back this way as well. The Granite Way here, it runs alongside the train tracks that I don't think they're in operation anymore. Yeah, they're definitely kind of closed down. Whether they can occasionally run a train up here, I don't know, but I think they closed it down maybe in the 60s, and then they put this path in the 80s. It's so called the Granite Way because there's obviously a lot of granite around here. So the viaduct over there, last time I came this way I kind of wanted to go and I didn't. I'm going to go that way today. I do remember it, in my mind at least, as being much higher up. It doesn't look like much elevation at all actually, so as soon as I can I'll turn off and then have a look, go that way, and then we can have a look at the reservoir. Yeah, so I've not been feeling it this week. I went out on my bike twice and both times, well, the rides were okay actually, but as soon as I got home, because of this cold, I think it's getting into my chest, I really felt quite unwell afterwards. So this one, going to Lydford, is maybe 15 kilometres. Officially it's 18, but I don't think that's quite right. I've done it before and it never checked out. So not that much elevation, quite a short distance. I am wondering whether I can do it. I did 6 kilometres at lunch yesterday. I was feeling rather rough afterwards, but yeah, I didn't have this one planned. But it's a nice easy one, no traffic to worry about. Okay, and we're going to head towards Meldon Reservoir. So I guess this comes off the Granite Trail a little bit, but yeah, last time I came this way I didn't come to the reservoir and I kind of regretted it really. So that's the viaduct there that we just went over. That's the Granite Way. I just came up here to have a look at the reservoir. I came this way once before and I never came and looked at the reservoir. I kind of regretted not doing it actually, and I like remembering it today. I felt like the reservoir was much like higher up than what it actually is. Like if you look at the viaduct, it's basically the same elevation really. So for whatever reason I imagined it would be a much bigger climb. It was barely anything really, like 20 or 30 metres off the track. So definitely if you're coming this way it's worth just having a look at the reservoir as well. finished the trail, even with like going to the reservoir as well. I've got 15 kilometers on my GPS. So it was actually 16 kilometers to the castle, so yeah, I am calling somebody out on the 18 kilometers. I'm pretty sure I did the whole of the route, but no big deal. It was a really fun route. So apparently you used to be able to go down there, but it's too unsafe now. This would have been like the ground floor, and then down there is the basement area. Alright, I was hoping I could see my bike from this side because I've left it unlocked. Obviously when I built castles I didn't really think about having a little peephole to look at your bike. Apparently this mound here was like where a castle used to be. I think like Lydford Castle is maybe just like the combination of these things here. So I guess that over there was the prison, and then here would have been the castle. I should have paid more attention at school, basically. I guess like the whole thing is considered the castle, but this is the castle according to the map. And then where I just went and looked at the fort there, I guess that's more like a defensive thing to kind of protect the town, and it's all built on Lydford Gorge, so like really steep banks leading up to this part of the castle. So after my last video last week, I did the 70-kilometer loop up along Ray Valley Trail and then past Fingal Bridge. I was saying in that one how at one point in time earlier in the year that was my biggest ride, and I was quite nervous about doing it. It seemed much easier this time, but at the end of the video I was saying I was hurting a little bit, and I think that was actually the start of this cold that I've had this week. So it's kind of filled me with confidence really, because if that was my biggest ride at one point and it seemed much smaller that time and I had the cold, I feel like I'm far more capable of like much bigger rides now. So yeah, I'm doing this short one today just because this is all I can manage, but after my big ride last week that didn't feel so big, I did title the video Big Rides Feel Small. It's given me a lot of confidence, and I've had like another 100-kilometer ride in mind, which I didn't really have it planned. Maybe it was going to be a next year thing, like I was just kind of knowing I would do it, but no big ambitions to get it done soon. But given that I did 70 kilometers, I wasn't very well, and it went perfectly fine, other than a bit of aching from the cold. It's kind of spurred me on to want to do something bigger now, and I've only done 100 kilometers before. My best was 106 kilometers. I did that perfectly fine actually, up until 90 kilometers. I felt good, and then I hit a really big headwind on the way back, and that kind of tired me out. But I'm starting to think, although I've only done one 100-kilometer ride, is 100 kilometers that big anyway? Because I measure in kilometers, other people measure in miles. Say 100 kilometers, what's that, like 60, 70 miles? 60 or 70 isn't like a nice big round number, right? So anybody doing miles would aim for 100 miles. So really it's all just a mindset thing, right? So yeah, I think I'm going to start targeting that, maybe not straight away, but maybe I could start with this 100 kilometres I've got in mind, from Dawlish, South Devon to Westward Ho in North Devon, so it'll be coast to coast. It'll be going along the Tarka Trail. I've done that once before as well, so there'll be lots of good things to see there. So I think that'll be the next one I do, and then maybe next year I can really start targeting the bigger rides, getting my numbers bumped up, do like 100 miles. I think that's 160 kilometers, so yeah, I think that's going to be a good one to do next year, or start kind of like planning out for next year and make some headway towards it at the end of this year, and just keep going really with my you know, improving my cycling. I saw somebody the other day on Facebook, they were talking about heat map building, and what they mean by that is like going on Strava, I guess, or there's maybe other apps as well, and having it like record everywhere you've been and how often you've been to those places, just kind of build out like how far you've gone and like how far from home you've gone, where else you might have gone. It's like really nice to see on Strava all of the little orange lines. That is a paid feature, I think, so, but I think Strava's worth it. I know some people complain about the price, but definitely something of interest for me, at least, being a bit of a data geek. So I'm going to continue to build out my my lines and try these new places. I have been on the Tarka Trail before, and I will go up towards Exeter before I get there, but the middle bit I don't really know about that, so that'll still be something new. And then going off the Tarka Trail towards the end and up to Westward Ho, I don't know that either. So I got lots of plans, still really enjoying my cycling despite being a little under the weather this week. And if you've enjoyed this one, then please like and subscribe. I post a new video every week, and like I say, there's lots more to come. So yeah, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. I've been doing this for a couple of months now. I'm really enjoying myself on this little adventure, so thank you for joining me. I'll see you soon.